Hey, Blue Marinos, are you ready to make something really special with us? We are going to make one of those elegant, kind of flowing fall wreaths, and we're going to make it on this really neat wreath base. This is all going to come in a kit for you, easy for you to grab, one click and grab the whole kit. The neat thing is this has a little cavern in it. So I kind of teased you. We've taken out the liner and we're going to design right in here using floral foam. So if you've never done that before, you're going to come want to watch because this is so fun. We're going to use some of the tips and tricks we do in design school, and it's going to give you a sneak peek behind the curtain. I think you are going to love it. So get in here. Hey, and if you're not on our email list, you're going to want to get a spot on there. So drop email in the comments and we'll send you a link where you can sign up. That way you won't miss any of our videos. And we give out some true value on our email list where you can click and go to our blog on our website and see all the fun projects we have. You are going to love it. So guys, this is our latest kit we've got out for you, and it comes with the wreath base. And this one is so different and fun, and it makes a really flowing, elegant design. This kit's also going to come with some of this beautiful kind of a fern that gives you this really dried look. Then one of my favorite greeneries. This greenery is excellent because it's got those deep, rich tones of fall in there. We're not popping a whole lot of orange in this design. We are sticking with more neutral-y pumpkins, so they're coming. And look at the beautiful greenery that's in the same beautiful colors. I mean, is it screaming fall? And we've got a few pumpkins in. They're also going to come in the kit. And look how gorgeous these are. So this combo is going to be excellent. I'm going to show you how to make it. All right, so as we get in here to this design, we're going to start off by deciding what side of the wreath we want the design to be on. And for me, I generally like it on the left side. So I'm going to rotate this around and do it like this so that this flow can come down. And I am going to kind of tilt it just a little bit. So when I'm working with it, I'm going to have it just like that. Now, the next thing I want to do is put some floral foam in the cavity, the open part. So the way I like to put that in is I cut some blocks that can just tuck right in here, right? A little tight, but just tucking in. And we're going to glue those in, and then we're also going to wire them in with some floral pins. So I'm going to do that first. And we're going to put these both in. In design school, we love to work with foam as well. When you are originally learning how to design, foam makes it pretty forgiving and easy to go into the space. Like foam makes it just easy. And if you go in, you can always pull it out and change it around. Once you glue it, it's pretty permanent. But I think you'll like designing on foam if you've never done it. So I want to make sure I'm not going back too far. So far, these are just put in with, oh, excuse me, I'm trying to throw it off, with hot glue pressing in. Now, grab your floral pins, and floral pins are a U-shaped pin like this. They're something we use all the time in designing. And I'm going to kind of go from the sides and around the back, and I'm going to make sure that I am securing these through the vine as well, because I want it to make sure they don't wiggle out. I just take and pop these in. Now, if you end up where you can see the pin a little from the outside, a brown Sharpie can get that silver just hiding for you. Just put a little bit of that over the outside. Let me get this right in here. And try to go through where you had the glue already, because that'll hold it in place. If not, dip this in glue before you go in between. I'm going to do that a few places here. There you go. KDS Blue Marinos design school students will tell you that I'm an over secure. Like I like to get things where they're made really well to hold up. And that just comes from my history of doing craft shows for 17 years and traveling around with my work and knowing the better I construct it from the beginning, the better it holds up. Because you weren't necessarily going to sell out at the first show you went to. And that stuff was going to have to go with you to your next show and continue down the road. The type of shows I did. So it was really, really important to me that my work held up, of course. I needed it to hold up. Plus, I wanted my customers to be coming back next time I was in town, that we came through. Um, and so now selling online, the same thing. I want them to love our work, come back. I want you to love learning from me and know that what I'm teaching is it's kind of tried and true. It's tested on the road and in all the places. Okay, let me press this last one in. I think we're gonna get it. I love that these vines are tight because they will help hold that well. So our foam is in, and that makes it so easy now to start building up this base. You're gonna love it. So we're gonna grab our fern in here, and this is called a phoenix tail fern, and you'll see why. It's gonna open up so pretty. And when you open up the little cute tie on there, you will find that it has these 3 built-in sections. So that makes it so nice to start kind of setting up our design. So I'm going to put my first few pieces in. These are going to be the longest pieces on the design. In design school, we'll call that setting the perimeter. It's where we want to take and decide how big we want this to be. And I always want things to be big and beautiful and bold. And I'm a big believer in making pieces that stand out. So I'm going to put this first piece in, and you can see I went way off, way up. And that's fine. You just have to be able to have enough supplies to bridge the gap between those lines. So I love when my students grasp that and they get to create these gorgeous lines on their pieces, because that's literally what's going to set you apart in your work. That it's not just one cluster of things, it is some beautiful lines created. So here comes this one on the bottom. You can see I already started that, right? Now let's take and add some other pieces of this in, kind of creating a little separation. On every one of these bushes, there's one of these that's super big. So I take and just cut that in half. If you've never done that before, you can take a bush or a stem and trim it down to sizes that work for your container or your design. And the things we sell, they have really nice strong wires, and that's going to allow you to be able to separate them up easy. So we're going to use the 3 pieces here at the top, and then I'm going to cut into the second bush, and we're going to use a little bit more down here at the bottom. So I'm already creating my perimeter, and I love that. I'm going to take off this little raffia. All right. Now let me find my other big piece in here. There it is. And we'll separate into 2. So we're kind of doing mirror image at the top and the bottom. Y'all, if you've never tried floral design for your own stress relief and creating, you're going to absolutely love it. It is so fun. And I know some people are afraid to invest in everything you need for the hobbies. And that's okay, because here we literally love for you to we have kits set up, so you don't have to have you don't have to have everything. You're just going to need some hot glue, which you could use a glue gun. I use a glue skillet. You're going to need some hot glue, and you're going to need some wire cutters and some scissors. Other than that, you don't have to have all the things I'm showing. Some floral pins would be nice, but you could cut wire to make your floral pins. Like, you don't have to have everything to get started in the hobby. You can just grab a kit from us and then start creating. A lot of things I can tear down. Some things I do have to cut with the wire cutter. But something like this is about a $15 investment, and you can use it in your home anyway. You probably already have a glue gun. So when you see me stick my sticks into the glue pot over here and twirl them around, you'll just be pulling the trigger, putting a little glue on each stem before you put it in if you already have a glue gun. I'd love for you to try this particular hobby, because if you love plants, you love having decor in your home, I think you would be surprised how little it takes to get started. And you do not need to buy every ribbon. You do not need to buy every greenery. Literally, we have kits set up to get you started. So you'll use everything in that kit. There'll be nothing left over to weigh down your craft room or have so much supplies. It is an excellent way to kind of get into this hobby if you do other hobbies already. and see if you like it, because it's truly fun and you can make something for yourself. You don't have to immediately start selling these pieces, right? You could just enjoy the process. But I love creating, and it's just very relaxing. It's one of my favorite things to do, is get in here and just start creating with you guys. Now, while I've been talking, I pushed up this bush. So this is a normal bush right here. And then we call these pushers because we can make them more clustered and chunky like this, or we can leave them long. And I like to do a little bit of both in my designs. So this one I pushed up short. So we'll use that kind of more in the interior of the design. And the one I left long, which I could pull these back down too if I want them long, the long pieces we're going to use out to the perimeter. So we're still setting our perimeter with our secondary greenery here, and we're going to bring it in. All right, I trimmed that off the bush, and now I'm going to take and stagger these right here in between. You're just kind of bridging the gap between the greeneries. And this is where a kit comes in so handy, because I've already used my expertise to put the colors together for you, to create the depth and all that kind of stuff. So you don't have to worry about, oh my gosh, Clea, is that greenery going to go with this? I know when you get on our website, there's so many pieces, it's hard to figure out, oh my gosh, what goes with what? Well, that's one nice thing about getting a kit, especially when it first comes out, because we've got everything in stock that coordinates, that looks so gorgeous together. You've already seen it in action. I think it really helps you kind of get your your foundation for the design laid out. Okay, now we really worked on that beautiful kind of trending greenery that just comes out and expands and flows. I think that is just gorgeous. I'm going to trim this piece down a little bit. I'm going to go out here to the outside. If I left it super long, the problem would be is I would lose the dimension here where we're going to change direction on these florals. So I have to keep it shorter. Otherwise, I'm way out here, which is okay. It's just going to take more material. We're going to keep our material, to a limit to where we don't lose the shape of the design. So I trimmed that one down. Isn't that looking great? Okay, next move is let's get our pumpkin stem in. Because even though it's a primary factor in here, we need it to be kind of in the background, and we want leaves and other greenery to work around it. So this particular stem is one of those that breaks into sections pretty nicely. So I'm going to go ahead and divide it out. If you've never broke down a stem with me before, this is good because I get so much out of this. So for the price of this one stem, I'm getting like 1, 2, 3, 4 picks. So sometimes stems are a better purchase just for that fact, because you can get a lot more out of them. I think this is going to make 5. So I'm going to trim them all down here into their own little sections. I'm going to try. There's that one. And so the reason I keep them in sections, so I keep this main thick wire that can go into the foam really easily. You'll notice here we don't use pick machines. I'm not big on pick machines because pick machines are great when you're using like really inexpensive materials and you have the time to take and pick out each piece to get that little spike on it. But a pick machine to me is not necessary when you use higher quality materials, because they already have a nice wire, a nice stem, and you're not spending extra time. When I used to have a lot of high volume sales on Etsy of wreaths, there was no time for me to be taking something cheap and really cutting it down into little bitty pieces and picking it. So I eliminated that part of the process, and we started to really choose materials to work with in our shop that were really well made and that were easy to work with. And that meant that strong base wire. So I'm clustering up the 2 pumpkins right here at the center of the design. And we're going to have them kind of snuggle each other because I love that look where they kind of come up here together. We'll just kind of angle them, wiggle them around. See how pretty that looks? I'm watching my berries so they're opposite and they work that line. Our primary line we had already started. So I'm going to go right behind it with this one. And you guys, if you love this design and you can follow the way I teach, we'd love to have you in design school where every week you're getting new designs. You're getting new collections that go together. We're teaching pieces that coordinate. So you get a really cohesive look in your home, and you learn to use all your supplies that you purchase. So there's not a whole lot left over, and it gives you options of, what you want to create within a collection. And I love that for you. Because it's my 7th year of design school, I was a teacher also in real life. I have had time to develop my curriculum and my style of teaching and all of that. And I really feel like if you just give it a chance, you will be shocked how you can learn these principles and really put them into play in your designs pretty quickly. So you can see how it's layering up really pretty. I'm going to continue with my last leaf over here and go right behind the berries. Berries! There we go. And look how pretty, y'all. It's so pretty. All right, now it's time to add our leaves in, because our leaves are going to add the depth of color. It's going to pick up this color in the green and orange. So these got to go in next. So I'm going to do the same thing with these. You're going to just separate them into sections, and then we'll trim these right down. We're going to get them cut. I'll cut right here. So this has that little end on it. So a lot of times you can tear down stems too, but in this case, if I tear these down, I'm going to end up with a lot of little pieces, and I really prefer them to already be clustered. So this is already clustered. I didn't have to do extra work. It's already ready to rock and roll. So I'm going to put this one in first, a little longer piece, and we're going to go right in here, kind of layering it on top of the green and the brown, kind of in between. I'm staggering them where they have a little bit of overlap, and that looked great. And these berries in here, whoo, so pretty. Let me cut down the other bush too, so I can get everybody to match. I left these two together at the top. You could have done a smaller one there, but I think leaving them together gives you a little more length on that. Y'all, this is so fun. This is so pretty. Let's bring this one. I'm going to work opposite. So this one's going to come down and layer between my green and my brown down here. We're creating that depth. So I'm getting a little bit of brown in the back. Yeah. Oh. Now that's tying it in so good with the wreath base. I love it. All right, now let's work in and around. I'll cut some of these a little shorter just because I want to tuck them in further, especially right here where we've got our transition. We change direction, so I got to keep this short. Remember, I can't have that shooting out or it's not going to tuck in as a good transition. I'm going to take this one and go to the inside. So just kind of going on the opposite side of where we just went. Let me come around and look at it from this way. Oh, yeah. And I'm layering in where those light leaves are kind of, some are in the front, some are in the back. See, it's just kind of layering it in. I love it. Now, this piece has a little bit of twig to it. I'm going to use it right in there. And we're going to put these opposite each other too. So I get that cool little branch. Oh, yes. See how much depth that added? I love it. And then this one, I'm going to go right in here on the right. I think right here. Now, I'm, of course, giving you the structure, and I'm teaching you how I'm doing it. But remember, one of the greatest things about being the designer, you can do it however you want. You don't have to follow my directions at all. You have control. I can get you started, and you can have the inspiration, and then you go to town. You can go to town. So now we're doing that detail work. This is the depth again. We come back to the foreground with some of the colors we use in the back, and we are going to rock that out. So I'm going to take this one and break it down into a couple of sections. This is the lighter color fern, and so far it's only in the background. So I like to save a little of it and bring a little bit more forward in this particular type design. All kind of different ways to design different structures, different looks, styles. And on this one, I love to layer it up. So I'm going to bring this one. Now that one will be more in the front. Okay. Let's work a little bit opposite up there. And these little pieces are all wired. So you'll see me take and you'll see me give them motion. That's so they look real. I don't want them flat. Y'all, you've got to give them motion and movement. All right, we've got one more. I'm going to come to the inside right here with this one. A little touch here coming out of the middle. Perfect. And then how about one more kind of coming out of that top right up there? Make sure you're hitting them all with glue. That's what we got so far. Isn't it looking great? All right, we are on our last piece, and that's our greenery, the one we pushed up. We've only used like one piece of it. So this one, we did push it up quite a bit. So these are little clusters that we're going to use as what we call filler. And the filler is the material that comes in to fill in the holes. But to me, it's really important that it continues to add the depth of color and that fluidness through the whole design. So I'm going to start and go for the holes first. So right here, I've got a hole where I can kind of see into the mechanics. That's where we're working. So I'm going to put one there. And then I've got one down low here. Just tuck this one in. I'm just covering up things right now. See, they're little clusters, little fun clusters. Now some up above the pumpkins. And you're going to find most of these are going to need to just be tied to the center here and bringing that color, that green color in here. Because remember, we used it out already. We've got it out here. So just pop it in the middle. But I'm also doing a double duty. I'm covering up, seeing into the foam. It's a big deal to me to see glue, foam, cable ties, wire, anything mechanical to your design. We're trying to hide that from almost every angle we can. It's important to me to look professional, to be able to charge a higher value, like just a higher perceived value, because the construction is well done. It's not just thrown together. It is really thought about. The process is structured and layered. Even though this looks like a bunch, you just kind of gathered a bunch of beautiful florals and put them together, you can see when we're done, those lines prevail. That look comes together so nicely. And I think you're going to be pretty blown away that you can do it. I know you can. Most importantly, I want you to have fun with flowers. I want you to find the escape and the peace that you get when you create something like this for yourself. We would love if you'd support our small business by shopping with us and grabbing this kit right here. But I most importantly want you to be inspired and continue to enjoy creators like me. Make sure you like, subscribe, and follow, because this type of thing is something you'll never get tired of watching. All right, you go have fun with flowers. I'll see you next time, and bye.